on behalf of its members. I wanted to remind you this evening by 2050 that 23% of Oregonians will be over the age of 65. I personally will be a lot older than that. But I think that it's important to point this out, that we really are building the future for our children, our grandchildren, and also probably our great-grandchildren. Although it's about, a lot of times you hear about the big three, and no offense, Neil, Chariots, TriMet, or LTD, I wanted to kind of draw your attention to something about the state of Oregon. The percentage of household income spent on transportation, if you look at this closely and look at the rural areas, 34% of income in Pendleton is spent on transportation, 36% Roseburg, 35% Klamath Falls. And this is all taken from the census, so you can see that in a lot of our rural areas, transportation is very costly. Tonight, I am wearing two hats. I'm going to talk about not only the 10 agencies that you will see in the study, but also the other 80 transit agencies that this bill will impact. This will lift transit across the state, and if you look closely at all those dots, that is where the transit systems are throughout the state of Oregon. And now I'm going to put on my other hat real quick and talk about the Rogue Valley. By 2050, again, 20.8% of the people living in the Rogue Valley will be over the age of 65. So we're preparing for a system that will not only meet the needs of the general public and our children, but also for people like myself who will be in that age bracket that will need transportation. RVTD presently provides 1.5 million rides each year. 62% of the riders have no vehicle, and 66% of our riders make less than $15,000 a year. So as you can see, in the Rogue Valley, transit is very important. In this slide, we talked about in our study what we would do if we received the money. For the Rogue Valley, the enhanced services, Saturday service frequency, expanded evening hours, we were actually already able to achieve. And that was because we were able to pass a property measure last May and bring those services back online. But we are looking at new services that are critical. An express route that would run from from Medford to Ashland and back. Services in the city of Central Point and also in Ashland. But we also know that there's a lot of low-income areas that have built up housing developments outside of our service areas that we know that are next on our agenda for expanded services. So we're looking at a crosstown right now that will actually meet some of those needs. With this money, it'll provide 95% more jobs within 60 minutes from downtown Ashland and 30% more jobs within 60 minutes from downtown Medford. So this is critical for our workforce. The frequent transit will also increase 8% more of our residents in the area will be able to actually access the transit system without having to go 2 to 3 miles to get to it. We'll be able to provide those neighborhood areas with transit that we aren't able to serve today. An overall 36% increase in total service hours. The statewide impact, again, I want to really emphasize statewide. We will see a 37% increase in transit statewide in the hours that are served. And one of the things that I know that in this House bill amendments and -3 amendments, there has been some letters and also some emails to us. Sorry, I feel for you. I've been there. Some of our members have let us know that they're concerned about the way the bill has been drafted. And so we are working with the ODOT staff right now to address how the funds will be distributed. So I do want to let you know that presently the Oregon Transit Association, along with ODOT, are working on those amendments. So I'm now going to turn this over to my colleagues and let them start talking. But I wanted to kind of set this up because over the next few nights you'll be hearing not only from my colleagues but also constituents throughout the state who will be telling their stories. So thank you.
Madam Chair.